Now I'm on paragraph 4. I'm still on page 45. You don't feel 11, not right away. It takes a few days, weeks even, sometimes even months before you say 11 when they ask you. And you don't feel smart 11, not until you're almost 12. And that's the way it is. Only today I wish I didn't have only 11 years rattling inside me like pennies in a tin Band-Aid box. Okay, so I want to stop right here because there is, and I'm going to just draw, I'm going to use my nice ruler. I'm going to draw a line right here. Okay, because here we changed our point of view. Now our point of view is first person POV. And how do I know that? It's because we're using now the word I and me. Okay? All right. So then something happened today, her birthday, right? I wish I didn't have only 11 years rattling inside me like pennies in a tin Band-Aid box. Can you guys even hear the rattling noise of pennies, right? And then guess what? We also have a simile. Ooh, a lot of things are happening in this one sentence. So rattling, you have coins and it makes all this noise when you rattle it, right? When you shake it up. That's what she wants you to think about, okay? And then she uses the simile, right, to compare her feeling about today, being 11, with hearing pennies rattling inside of a tin Band-Aid box is just like a metal box. Today, I wish I was 102 instead of 11 because if I was 102, I'd have known what to say when Mrs. Price put the red sweater on my desk. Okay, so instead of 11 years old, she wishes that she is 102 years old. And I'm writing it down here so I don't forget, okay? Because something happened. Mrs. Price put a red sweater on my desk. Okay, so let's go ahead and underline that so we know that that is our conflict. That is our conflict. Now I'm going to draw a line right here so I can remind myself that that is our conflict. Another word for conflict is problem. Okay. I would have known how to tell her it wasn't mine instead of just sitting there with that look on my face and nothing coming out of my mouth. Okay, so it sounds like on the morning of her birthday, something happened at school where her teacher, Mrs. Price, put a red sweater on her desk and she doesn't want to, she doesn't like it. Something happened where she wanted to say something, but she ended up keeping her opinions to herself. Not mine, not mine, not mine. But Mrs. Price is already turning to page 32 in math problems number 4. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I'm feeling sick inside. Like the part of me that's 3 wants to come out of my eyes. Only I squeeze them shut tight and bite down on my teeth real hard and try to remember today I am 11. 11. Okay, so right here, she's getting frustrated, okay? She's repeating the word not mine. Okay, so she is frustrated. I'm gonna write a little note. Okay, frustrated. Okay, and then she's feeling sick and she says, like the part of me that's 3 wants to come out, which to us, we remember 3 means crying, right? And she feels this sensation in her eyes. So she's She wants to cry, so wants to cry. But she squeezes her eyes tight and bite down on her teeth. And then she says, I need to try to remember that today I am 11. Okay, so I'm going to underline that today I am 11, which means that today she's older, right? She needs to be able to control her emotions a little better. Mama is making a cake for me tonight, and when Papa comes home, everybody will sing happy birthday to you. Okay, so it looks like she has to reminds herself that she is older. And that she's not going to cry because of this small situation. Okay. But when the sick feeling goes away and I open my eyes, the red sweater is still sitting like a big red mountain. I move the red sweater to the corner of my desk with my ruler. I move my pencil and books and eraser as far from it as possible, and I even move my chair a little to the right. Not mine, not mine, not mine. Okay, so I'm actually going to underline, and I'll scoot this up a little higher, the simile right here, like a big red mountain. So what we see is that sweater looking like a big mountain, right? A big red mountain. And when we think about mountains, we think of it being this large obstacle, this large, very difficult obstacle for us to reach or even go over. So I'm going to write a note, okay? And I'll write it down here. Okay, it's a simile. And it is symbolizing how difficult this is for her. Okay, how difficult this is for her. She has this big sweater on her desk that does not belong to her, and she's trying her best to control her emotions and not cry. Then we have a repetition of the words not mine again, right? So we can see that she's definitely very, very uncomfortable with that sweater being on her desk. I'm on page 46, okay? So remember, she is upset about a situation that happened at school on her birthday, right? Who's this? Mrs. Price says, and she holds the red sweater up in the air for all the class to see. Whose? It's been sitting here in the coat room for a month. Not mine, says everybody. Not me. It has to belong to somebody, Mrs. Price keeps saying, but nobody can remember. It's an ugly sweater with red plastic buttons and a collar and sleeves all stretched out like you could use it for a jump rope. It's maybe 1,000 years old, and even if it belonged to me, I wouldn't say so. Right here, it's maybe 1,000 years old. Okay, we're going to use, remember, our ruler, and we're going to underline that because that, obviously, this red sweater is not 1,000 years old, but it's an exaggeration, right? So on our left side, we have some room. An exaggeration in literature, it's called a hyperbole. Okay. It's an exaggeration, right? The sweater is not 1,000 years old. Okay, and then there's this line right here that describes the red plastic buttons on the sweater. Okay, and I'm actually going to underline that because this is even more imagery. Okay? So not only do we get to see that the buttons are red, but we can almost feel the fact that it's plastic, right? We can almost feel the shininess or the smoothness of the plastic buttons. It helps us as a reader imagine this sweater that Rachel has to, that Mrs. Price is presenting to the class. I'm on paragraph 9 now. Maybe because I'm skinny, maybe because she doesn't like me, that stupid Sylvia Saldivar says, I think it belongs to Rachel. An ugly sweater like that, all raggedy and old. But Mrs. Price believes her. Mrs. Price takes the sweater and puts it right on my desk. But when I open my mouth, nothing comes out. Okay, so another student claims that that ugly sweater is Rachel, okay, and that other student's name is Sylvia. But Rachel was too shy or too shocked to even open her mouth and say something to Mrs. Price. That's not, you're not mine, I finally say in a little voice that was maybe me when I was 4. Okay, so remember how she uses age to reference emotions, right? So instead of standing up for herself, she was too afraid to say anything. And so she says that that feeling is like her when she's 4 years old. She couldn't stand up for herself, right? She was too shy, too afraid. Of course it's yours, Mrs. Price says. I remember you wearing it once. Because she's older and the teacher, she's right and I'm not. Okay, so this shows that there's a level of respect and authority for the teacher, okay, even when the teacher is not right. So I'm going to underline because she's older and the teacher, and then I'm going to write a little note, okay, respect, authority. Okay,